be of something of this caliber, per se, I can't think of it. For being the reason of why, you're not being happy, just bringing it to that extreme from Sunday's game, and thinking of that decision of what lays ahead. It's different, in my opinion.
It is, and it's sad to see Rodgers and the Packers are at an impasse right now, and I just hope they work things out. I would love to see Aaron come back and be in that Packers uniform again for another season, but if it doesn't, then it'll be exciting to see who he would move on to. There's a lot, like you said, there's 31 other teams that would love to have him on their roster. You know that.
Yeah. Let me just go ahead and throw this out there. Just one of the teams that probably would benefit of a quarterback of such as Aaron Rodgers. It will be bringing him over to the West Coast, San Francisco.
Yes. I was thinking about the 49ers. I think that could
probably be a good fit.
It would, because you don't know what the future of Jimmy Garoppolo is in San Francisco, and do John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan actually want him back when they could possibly get Aaron Rodgers? And we know Aaron is still playing at the top of his game. The last 3 years, He's thrown for 4,000 plus yards. We talked about it earlier. Last season, he threw only 4 interceptions, 26 touchdowns. The year before, just 2 interceptions. So Aaron is still playing at a very high level at age 37. So if the 49ers grab him, that'd be great. I know PLR would be thinking, if we can get Aaron Rodgers in Chicago, I know he would kind of have mixed feelings that, a Packer would be added. But if you can get him over Mitchell Trubisky, Chicago would love to have him.
Oh, gosh.
Detroit would love to have him because Matthew Stafford is going to be out of there. Detroit would love to have him. Washington would love to have him. The football team would love him. Denver's never had any stability at quarterback. They'd love to have him.
Peyton.
Yes, not since Peyton. The Jets, Sam Darnold, he played well toward the end of the season, but his career has been up and down with the Jets. There's no certainty there with Robert Saleh as the new head coach there. Maybe he would want to do a splash and pull Aaron Rodgers into New York. That'd be a great move for Robert Saleh and the New York Jets if Aaron Rodgers would sign off on going to New York.
And one thing I would say too, I know we have Murray, but in the event that we wouldn't have Murray, I would definitely say Arizona Cardinals, because oh my gosh, that would be like another Kurt Warner probably situation in a way, but in a little higher level. But it's like it would be something amazing. That would just be my dream.
But Joe, how would that
out there?
How would that work in the hierarchy of the Cardinals when they're trying to build Kyler Murray? They know he is the future. He is one of the most dynamic young quarterbacks in the league. And then you add in Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is not going to play second fiddle to Kyler Murray. I don't know if that would mesh.
No, it would not work out. That's what I'm saying. If the Arizona Cardinals did not have Kyler Murray, I would say go for Aaron Rodgers. But in the situation that you have Kyler Murray and adding Aaron Rodgers, that wouldn't work. No. And the only possibility that would work is if they would trade Kyler Murray and bringing in Aaron Rodgers in that way and saying bon voyage to Murray. I do not know, and I do not see that happening in a situation. So because obviously, like you said, and it's been mentioned that they're trying to build around and with Kyler Murray in the team. So.
Yes. And there's 2 other teams in the NFC East along with Washington. The Eagles. The Eagles could use him.
I don't see him as an Eagle.
No.
I don't.
You don't want to. You wouldn't get rid of Carson Wentz to add Aaron Rodgers, because Wentz would be the man out, because I would think they would keep Jalen Hurts.
Well, that's another one that's in murky waters, but.
Or the Giants. Yeah. Daniel Jones is not. He's not really panning out to be what the Giants wanted him to be. Aaron Rodgers with the New York Giants.
I don't know. Possibly.
I
don't know. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens, in the coming days, coming weeks, and the off season, and how this develops and what happens going into next season. So hopefully they're able to mend things, and we see Aaron Rodgers stay with the Packers a little bit longer. So unfortunately, we can't see the future and what lies ahead, but he definitely gave it his all this season. And then just to recap before we move on to our next segment, Aaron Rodgers had a total of 51 touchdowns, 4,299 yards, 5 interceptions, with a 13-3 record. One, if not the best season of his career ever at the age of 37, and only getting better. But yes, a lot of football, very exciting stuff talking about here. And with this, we'll go ahead and lead into some baseball talk. I know my girl Aileen and I were going through some baseball withdrawals, and it probably we don't know, may lead into a little bit longer on having some major withdrawals if baseball doesn't come around here in the next month with spring training when it's scheduled to start February 27th. But before we go ahead and get into that in what's been happening in baseball news, I want to go ahead and just say our condolences to Hank Aaron's family. Amazing legend, baseball legend, Hank Aaron. He passed away over the weekend at just the age of 86. He was just a pioneer. He played for 23 seasons in Major League Baseball. He was one of the players, at least, that maybe the one that came in from the Negro Leagues and then came into playing in MLB. So there's just so much that Hank Aaron stood for. He stood for so much, not only in baseball, for also the community. So he was inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame in 1982. He was awarded the Presidential Medal of Honor in 2002 for his contributions. He also, naming some of his accomplishments as a player, he also became the first MLB player to hit over 40 home runs and steal 30 bases in a single season. Just so much that he was able to do, just set record after record, and his records are still waiting to be broken. So that's not an easy feat that he has set for these up and coming new players and just, young players that we have going on right now, Ed. You just can go on and down the list of everything of who Hank Aaron was.
It's amazing. The era he played in the mid 1950s and the 60s, and pretty much through 1976 when he ended his career with the Milwaukee Brewers that year. But every year except for his final year, he was in the All-Star. He was an All-Star. He was an All-Star. He was an MVP voting for a great majority of his career. 1957, he won the MVP, of course, that year. 44 home runs, 132 RBIs that year. The year that you mentioned, the first guy to hit 40 home runs and 30 stolen bases in a year, that was 1963. He was third in the MVP voting that year. That year hit 44 home runs, 130 RBIs, and 30 stolen bases. In 1963, Joe, Hank Aaron, he revolutionized the game of baseball. He was one of the revolutionaries, so to speak, as far as just changing the game of baseball, and it still reverberates to this day what he was able to do over a 23-year career. I'm just looking at more of his stats. 25-time All-Star, won the World Series in 1957. He won the batting title twice. 3-time Gold Glove winner. What else that? And of course, he had 755. Had the most home runs until Barry Bonds broke his record. But what more could you ask for from a baseball player? And for him to do it in those eras that he lived and played in, especially being a black man playing baseball in that time, could not have been easy for Hank Aaron to play in those times. I'm sure with all the racial unrest and injustices that happened back then. We talk about what's been happening for us here. Imagine what it was like for him back then in the 50s and the 60s and the early 70s to be a black man playing baseball and being successful, and so many people rooting against you because of the color of your skin.
Yeah, just you talking and us talking about this and mentioning that just gives me chicken skin, gives me the chills. It just really, really does. I can only imagine. And he's talked about it, and it's been brought up. So he's just only an icon in a sense. You can say he's an idol. He's a trailblazer. He's just so many things of who he was, not only as a player, but also as a person. He just paved the way, and in what he was able to do in the era that he grew up, in the era that he played, being in Major League Baseball. He suffered through and went through a lot of, similar to Jackie Robinson. He was able to overcome a lot as well. So he stood for so much and stood against as well. And then also, just like you said, he, of all, everything that he was able to accomplish, and then just go ahead and recap here, he earned nearly every title in Major League Baseball. That includes National League MVP, World Champion, National League Batting Champion, Golden Glove winner, RBI champion, 4-time home run champion. One more of the things that he's accomplished. But he still holds the record of 25 All-Star games, and then that's still untouched to this day.
Isn't that incredible? From his second year until the year before he retired, he was in the All-Star game every year. That's unheard of. And also, from 1959 through the 1963 season, Hank had no less than 120 RBIs every year from 59 through 63, and no less than 34 home runs every year. Incredible.
So, yes, you just said it right there. Incredible. Hank Aaron was just that incredible. There's nothing more that you can say or put it any other way. One of the best players and strongest out there. Very, very sad to see another legend after the great and late Tommy Lasorda as well, who recently passed.
Joe, it is sad that we've lost so many legends, but you know what? They earned their wings. They're in heaven right now. They are at peace, and they made us better people as a result of what they did coaching wise and playing wise. They made the game of baseball better because of their coaching and their playing, and they set a standard, and they just set the bar has been set for all the other teams and managers to live up to what Tommy Lasorda and Hank Aaron and Don Sutton and all of the rest of the pioneers who we unfortunately lost. They have to live up to that, if not exceed that. They set the gauntlet for all of these young players to aspire to because of their greatness. Yes,
definitely. And with baseball season just around the corner, I'm sure that MLB is going to pay tribute and honor them with the season starting here ahead. And not only MLB, but the players as well. So I know there's even more recognition around for these great legends and pioneers.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Let's go ahead and kick it up a notch, and let's talk some spring training. And I say that with the grin in my
Can you hear it, folks? Can you hear the grin in her chat and her talk? You know she's ready. A month from tomorrow, we hopefully will start spring training here in the Cactus League, and the Grapefruit League will kick off as well. But let's hope and pray that it gets kicked off in a month, Joe. It will be awesome.
Yes, which is why I say it with the grin, because news has come out that there's now some battle with asking for spring training to be pushed back. I'm holding my breath, and I probably should not hold my breath, because then that would be a very long time, and then I probably would be out of breath. And let's go ahead and talk about this, Ed. How will we see, if anything, spring training being affected? Will it be delayed? Because now we heard the talks and what was happening was potential to happen last year, and well, now we have it here once again. And MLBPA pushing for playing the full spring training, playing the full entire season. They're getting pushback and asking to go ahead and not do so with the pandemic, with COVID happening and all of that. So I don't know what to think, Ed.
I'm just going to think positively that we can hopefully get this thing started, because at least here in Arizona, we've got sports going on. We've got the Coyotes are here playing. The San Jose Sharks are here playing. They're also playing in Glendale. They're playing their